Welcome back, guys, to more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Let us begin the Chapter 5 Class Trial.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
Yeah, oh my god, this guy's so retarded.
No, that's a ghost!
But
Oh my
she
god.
has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Shut up.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh! You know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
Uh-huh.
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all. That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
That's wrong.
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Exactly, my boy.
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way
This
to
guy is
figure
so
it out.
retarded. I hate Hero
Oh,
so
this-
much.
The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Oh, if we can't identify the
Oh.
body...
No, that's wrong.
That's wrong.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Oh my god. Toko, please.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
Now I understand.
Now I get it.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo.
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a coup-last trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Yeah.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right?
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Indeed.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
No, that's wrong! Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
Jesus, shut up.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, You're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Jesus, do we have to go through all of this just to fucking... Okay.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
Oh yeah, okay.
This should prove it.
I was trying to switch, but I couldn't switch. I was gonna switch to check the options,
Just
but
remember what
since
the
there was
body
no other
like
option, I just
after
like,
the
okay.
explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
Hell yeah.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
I can see that.
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
No, I don't think so. She was busy
She
investigating,
thought
right?
Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all.
Wait, that wouldn't make any sense because she's the one that stole the paper that says she's not the despair. She's the fucking soldier. Hello?
And as a result, we were forced into another trial.
But-
something I'm sure you weren't at
but-
all expecting.
Okay. Okay, we'll see, we'll see.
So that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Oh god, I know. Oh god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Aren't you?
She's trying to put the blame on me, you fuck.
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water.
Wait, we're all gonna die though, because none of us killed the guy.
In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
Oh god, we're all gonna die.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Oh god. Why would she say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said it, that tarp must have touched the body, right? But there's no blood on the other side. But the body.
Wait, something's not right.
And what might that be?
I see.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Gotcha, bitch.
No, that's wrong. Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Yakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
True.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage? What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
What the fuck?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
Okay.
That's not what happened this time.
Oh, okay.
The
What?
killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I get it. I gotcha.
I got it! Could
I
it
see,
be
I see.
chicken blood?
Fuck me.
Chicken blood?
No.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up.
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off.
Oh boy, we're all gonna die.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Oh god, oh no, oh no. The suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me?
Well then,
Oh
looks like
boy.
we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Okay.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the
Oh,
body
no.
before it exploded, right?
They're gonna say it was me because I had the knife. Oh
According to the
no.
Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
Because it's mine.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Yeah, I know.
It's the knife we gave to
Oh no.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier. Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
Oh
The
god.
knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Oh god.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once? That automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
Oh!
Right?
No, that's wrong.
That's wrong, bitch.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body.
Uh-huh.
Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point,
Yeah?
obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Yeah.
Sure did.
I remember that.
Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife.
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer.
Indeed.
They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Why do I always gotta explain shit?
I got it! After
I like
the
it.
explosion,
Shit,
you found
man.
a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right?
Yep.
That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know,
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
oh, then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
No! Oh my god.
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me. Then
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire...
Then, shall we continue
The debate?
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
No, that's wrong.
I always hold the button, like fuck's sake.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Wow.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something, and that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
Okay.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right?
Yeah.
I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, that's wrong.
That's wrong.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Oh boy.
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Oh,
Yeah?
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Oh no. Please. No.
of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
Oh no.
I got it!
This
The
is
one
all.
thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is
But you gotta believe in. There's no way, right? Right?
right here. The key to the dojo locker.
We wanna believe in her, but we can't at the same time.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
Yes, because. Come on!
It's not that I want to defend her.
Yes, we
It's
do.
just-
We gotta defend her.
There's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? We gotta protect her. We have to. Then what is she? She knew I was being attacked. And she came to my rescue. Could that be when? Which would mean that Pyo killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is
No!
close at hand.
No! No!
Wait,
We can't! This can't be true.
I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
No, we can't. No, it's not.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
I think I know. That's not it.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
I see. I understand. I understand.
What are you?
Master would never.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
I see it.
It's wrong.
I see the ending.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Huh? Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
Let's save. Oh god. Okay. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us, an obvious lie. But this just isn't like her, to try and save herself with such a desperate lie. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us. The mastermind's trap? The victim was Mukuro and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap. Run away? I can do that? What does running away do? I did save. Run away? Oh. Okay, okay. Pursue the lie.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
There's some deeper truth she wants to keep hidden.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then...
No, that's wrong.
Oh boy.
No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself. Didn't you, Kyoko?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing—
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I
Huh?
wasn't able to escape it.
What?
So I lost.
What?
That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't, Kyoko? You really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished! The class trial is all over!
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any—
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out!
But
So
wait, what?
It's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the— But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Oh no. Wait, does that mean we all die? Because she's not the killer, right? There's no way she's the killer, right? Okay, it's over. We're all dead, it's over. Or not. Oh.
Now then, I've prepared a— Let's give it everything we—
What? What up? What's going on? What the fuck? Oh boy. Oh my god. What are those, sperm cells? Oh boy. And that's how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba came to an end. I still had wondered whether Kyoko was actually innocent or, regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me, I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial. In the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder in Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. What the fuck? What the fuck? Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. What the fuck? No, the hope. 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 This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Huh?
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Let it go. I have to believe in Kyoko. Yes, exactly. There's no way she would kill someone. Yes. There has to be some sort of secret here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
I will protect her.
Who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? It had to be Makoto, right?
Yes, it's me.
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's up!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Oh boy.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Oh boy. Looks like we died this time. What the fuck is going on? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone.
Yep.
No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole class trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey! Shing! Thrills, chills,
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Let's give it everything we've got! What?
Haha. Yeah, it has to be.
This
Alter ego. Alter ego?
It would seem...
No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words,
What I'm saying is you shouldn't have underestimated us. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit in a way that's even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world. Poo hoo hoo, poo hoo hoo. Is he gone? Kyoko, what's the meaning of this? What the hell's going on here?
calm down. In other words,
What did you say?
so...
Very soon indeed. What the fuck? Managed to graduate, you'll be set for life. Okay, wait, we're just at the beginning of the game. It's helped. There are two things you need to attend to school. One, you have to be attending the school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. Okay. What the fuck is going on? Where am I? I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again, and then I was awake. Was this another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. Underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there until I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me. He used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now, for myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to look for a way out of here. Holy moly. Is that an airplane? How'd something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? This is a desk. Probably the one that fell down here with me. A rocket and a tank. I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquors I can drink and which ones are all around bad idea? Because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. Go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was the only way to preserve what little strength I had left and after not being able to eat or drink. All I did was sleep, sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come out falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign, not exactly. What the fuck? As I watched, a pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. What could it have been? What the fuck is going on? This is kind of cool. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here?
Just a second. It smells awful.
It's Kyoko. She came here to save me. This place smells awful.
Indeed. So... Hey.
To thank you, I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. That really hit the spot. Now I got all the energy I need to keep going. Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. But Kyoko, why did you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt or no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I had to survive
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So that you came for... So, have you come... So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once? Until recently, I've forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's...
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived to the school? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation from myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I came to school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what made you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems too convenient. Indeed. Are you saying you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
But why would they do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability, somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plan. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean, somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. Why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
That?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us.
Correct.
Well, don't make too big deal. Jesus, it's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind is one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In that case, it would only make sense she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Gah. It's just like that dream I had before. But why did that happen?
Listen,
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
hey,
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just I'm not used to relying on others.
correct.
Aw, she trusts us. I know I never asked you for help the right way, but so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality.
So,
At the very least, I remember it called my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective.
correct.
And the reason I came to Host Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find in here in the school.
So,
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? So why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster? And that explains what when Alter Ego told us about how he thought the headmaster was involved.
Huh?
No matter what,
So,
My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. I see. That makes sense.
however,
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't a mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect them. I only said what I felt on I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. So, then what did you see in there?
so,
The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the headmaster, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. Some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I finally remembered my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
But once I got there, I noticed the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what's it like, that part of the school, I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
so,
I can't explain it. You need to see for yourself. I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough.
however,
What was going on? I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuru Kusaba, doesn't it?
however,
Just be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an ally. Then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ukisaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole the key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the whole point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with the rule in place they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That would sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
There's one thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mufuro Ikasaba. There's a point where Mufuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. What the fuck? I could have been the victim?
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during that night? I could hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway,
Which is exactly what happens with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow across the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use a class trial to eliminate me. Holy shit. That would mean whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. If that's really true, it means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. But doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to kill you, because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
That's right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seems ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means the mastermind is the one who's cornered.
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the utter ultimate despair. What the fuck? The utter ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. Well, I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking
That's
about what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair?
It would seem
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair, then they're...
indeed.
Make no mistake, they're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. That is our real enemy. Holy shit, what a chapter.